Hey folks, welcome back. Thanks for watching. I went to a Harley demo day so that I could ride the Pan America. The CVO was booked, so I rode the Special instead. Let's talk all about it. Unfortunately, my helmet cam had a mishap due to user error, so I didn't get any footage of the ride. So we're going to go with generic pictures and fancy pants promo videos instead. If you enjoy the video, I invite you to subscribe and like. Check out the other videos on the channel. I would appreciate that. As always, specs first. The Pan America Special has a 1250 Revolution Max engine with a whopping 95 foot-pounds of torque and 150 horsepower. It has a 5.6 gallon tank, weighs 570 pounds fully loaded, has an adjustable seat height ranging from 31.1 to 32 inches, 19-inch front tire and 17-inch rear tire. Price on this starts at $20,000. As far as the ride goes, this bike was a lot of fun to ride. It is very peppy with tons of power, as is to be expected with the 1250. It balances and handles the corners very well. The windshield is actually pretty good. The bike felt taller to me than what the specs say. I know it has this adaptive suspension where it automatically adjusts the seat height, but from what I can tell, it didn't lower the seat height until I was already at a full stop. I suppose it's helpful in the sense that once you've stopped, it makes it easier to get your feet planted, but it would be nicer, in my opinion, if it would drop the seat height as it slows down instead of waiting until you're fully stopped. Another thing I didn't like was the side kickstand. You really have to lean the bike towards the right to get the kickstand up, which is difficult when you're short and can only put one foot down at a time. It's difficult to lean the bike over far enough to the right to get the kickstand up while supporting the bike on your right tippy toes. It felt like it was going to tip over to the right and fall over while I was trying to get the stand up. Those two items were actually the only two complaints I had with the bike as a short rider. Outside of those, I really enjoyed the ride. This is the fourth adventure bike I've ridden this year, but the others were in a different category. We're not going to talk about the Royal Enfield Himalayan. That is a low-end intro to the adventure bike world that I wouldn't really recommend. The Suzuki V-Strom 800 costs $9,900 and has a lot less power with 53 foot-pounds of torque and 83 horsepower. The Tiger 660 has even less power and costs a couple hundred less than the Suzuki. So while the seat height and overall feel of these three adventure bikes is similar, the Pan America is definitely in a league of its own when it comes to power and price. When it comes to comfort, the Pan America is definitely more comfortable than the Tiger or the V-Strom. My butt wasn't feeling at all sore by the end of the ride. I did still feel a slight lean on the bars, but they all had that. The wind protection is a lot better on the Pan America than the Tiger or the V-Strom. The bigger windshield does a lot better of a job keeping the wind off the face. Of course, the significant increase in power, the better comfort, the better wind protection, and of course the Harley badge on the tank comes at a high price, costing twice as much as the Tiger or the V-Strom. The real question is the Pan America worth the extra cost? I'm not an adventure bike guy, so that's tough for me to say. If you are, feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts. I personally like the Pan America the best of the ones that I rode, not just because of the power, but all in all, it was a more enjoyable ride. But the Pan America isn't really competing against the V-Strom or the Tiger. Its primary competitor, from what I understand, is the BMW R1250 GS. The 1250 GS has a little bit less horsepower than the Pan America, but a little bit more torque. It has a much higher seat height, but you can get a lower seat for an extra cost. That brings it down to the same as the Pan America. The BMW also costs a little bit more out of the gate and also weighs a few pounds more. So on paper, the Pan America looks better than the GS, but I haven't ridden the GS to know for sure. I also didn't do any comparisons when it comes to electronic features and those kinds of things, which BMW is very well known for. It's doubtful that I will try the GS because of the stock seat being way too tall for me. All that to say that if you're looking for a mid-level adventure bike, I would lean towards the V-Strom. If you're looking more top of the line, the Pan America is a really good choice. Thanks everyone for watching. Catch you on the next one.